everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Strip by Sia, your podcast for strippers, sex workers, and all the fancy naked people in between. I am your host, Steph Sia, aka Kimchi on stage, which is obviously not happening right now, but hopefully one day we'll return to the stage. I am also a digital content creator. Come at me for some custom content, some videos, some fetish work, all the things. And I am a former sugar baby, so I've had a bit of experience in the sex industry here over the past 7 to 8 years. And now I'm doing this podcast because I believe sharing stories of the lived experiences of sex workers is really important. It's humanizing, it's personal, and it's real. So I am really delighted to bring on this week's guest, who goes by the name of Miss Lady Vanessa. And it was actually, she was actually recommended that, that I bring her onto the show by another erotic masseuse who was also on the show, Miss Lexi Caldera, who was like, you gotta interview this woman. She is a veteran and she's a force to be reckoned with. She knows a ton of stuff. She's been in the industry forever. And after
That's so funny.
that's exactly how it happened. She was like, you have to get her onto the show.
Okay, Lexi, make me sound like I'm a dinosaur.
Not a dinosaur,
No, I love
just
it.
very experienced, which you're going to go spill all the beans, all the tea today on basically NuRu, erotic massage, the services that you offer, and also sex work before the internet was born. Like, this is going to be something really interesting that I have never talked about on the show, and I believe you might be an expert on this, so this is why you're here.
Right?
Yes.
Right, millennials? Hold on to your seat.
I cannot wait to get into this all, but Miss Lady Vanessa, oh my gosh, I am so glad that you were here. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to chit-chat with me in this Friday afternoon.
Absolutely, Steph. I'm excited, and I'm actually thrilled that I have peers that maybe look up to me a little bit or even recommend me to offer advice and knowledge and anything else for those that are listening that are within the industry, as well as who are not in the industry.
Yes, there has been a lot of interest, at least on my podcast. Lexi's episode was insanely popular, and it was the first episode I did on erotic massage, so I just feel like I need to give more love to this avenue of sex work. So again, bringing on the experts like yourself
Absolutely.
just seems so fitting.
I'm absolutely on board with that.
Yeah, like I don't know if I butchered your intro. Like I only know a little bit about you. I've done a little bit of like digging on Twitter and stuff and bugging you on Twitter. But did you want to let the audience know who you are, what it is that you do, and go?
Wow. Okay, where do I begin? Well, first of all, I am located on Vancouver Island in the hub city of Nanaimo. So if you are looking for something a little different, exciting, and want to spice up your island vacation, definitely stop in and see me. Or if you are a local and still want to spice up a little something within yourself or your love life with your partners, I'm definitely the person to see.
Ooh.
So what I do provide is I am a full service sex worker and love every bit of it. But I also branch off into erotic massage, touch, and what I call sexual healing. I think sexual healing and companionship and touch is vital to everybody's well-being. Whether it's personal or to help a relationship, I think it's just important.
Absolutely. It is so important,
yeah.
especially like in the times that we are in today. Like that is lost nowadays,
Oh, God, you're telling me. And actually, now that you bring that up, I mean, COVID has kind of dropped all of us in reverse and are on our asses because, like, what do we do? And even a year later, we're still kind of figuring this out. And with social distancing and not being able to hug and touch is taboo now. Our industry, you would think, would be a fail. But to be honest with you, when it first started, I did everything by the books. I stopped working for a good 3 to 4 weeks, and I realized I can't sustain my lifestyle, my living with this. So, and
Yeah.
people need touch. So I went back to work and I offered massage only. And let me tell you, it was the busiest I've ever been. It
Wow.
was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing how people were feeling the lack of just human interaction.
Yeah.
So it made me realize how essential sex work and human touch really is.
100%. And I love how you use the word essential. It literally is essential, and especially in the way that you framed it. Well, sex is obviously, it's a natural thing. Everyone
Absolutely.
wants it, right? There's no shame in
Yeah.
that. And
No, and it's. Go ahead, please continue.
Oh no, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Well, I was going to say how it's amazing how not only sex, but even more so, the sex industry is so dark and so stigmatized that we can't see ourselves in the light having sex, and let alone paying for sex or offering sex as a service. It And that's what we're working for, towards today. It's time to stop the stigma and decriminalize everything about it because it's natural.
Yes, 100% natural. And as you said earlier, human touch is so needed and is essential, as you said as well, because a lot of us need and crave that humanness, that touch, that connection. And it's something like, whether it is sexualized or not, like, and we'll get into this later too, like even some services that you offer too with cuddling, even that is so comforting. Yeah.
And I think that just comes from the time we were born. Our mothers and we were cuddled, and well, hopefully, if we were fortunate enough,
Yes.
we've experienced that from day one. So continuing that into our adulthood, it's not, it's not a kink. It's what we need to, and the world would be a better place if everybody just cuddled and made love. Really.
Yeah, agreed. Like I'm sorry, but who doesn't love cuddling?
Yeah, that's great.
Well,
But yeah, as you said, like I do offer a lot of sessions
Yes.
that are pretty much. I'll tell you first of all, my sessions, you would think I am offering a service for others, and they are geared towards others, but they all start with me. All my sessions are everything that I love to do, so it makes me the happy hooker. Like I'm able to provide these services and enjoy what I do because they're the things that I like to do first. And then if I can give that to you, and you leave here happy, then hey, it's a win-win.
Absolutely a win-win. Yes. And you say it so eloquently.
Oh,
It's
thank
perfect.
you.
It's perfect.
It's
Well,
awesome.
I cannot wait to get to know you better. So why don't we just dive into things? I want to know how you got into sex work. Like, what was it that drew you to this line of work? Was it were you inspired by something or someone else that you knew in it, or something that you've always inherently wanted to do? Like, tell us your story.
I would tell you exactly what it was. I was walking home from school one day, and in the bushes, I saw this bright pink novel. And I loved reading back then. There's no internet, or yeah, we played outside and we read, we watched it. This pink novel, and I pulled it out, and it was entitled "The Happy Hooker."
The Happy Hooker.
The Happy Hooker, and the author was Xavier Hollander,
Okay.
and she was a call girl madam business back in the late '60s. So as a 12-year-old, I started reading this novel, and it just captured me right away.
Yeah.
Like here's this powerful woman. She's sexy. She's smart. She's just in a man's world back then. She was just at the top of their game, even. So that's where the whole where I knew I was going to be born to be a hooker.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And it's 12 and this book. Oh my gosh. Yes, please tell us more.
Yeah. So, I mean, as a kid, you're already kind of, I guess, open to and easily persuaded to to try new things and everything.
Yes.
And even though I wasn't sexually active at 12, it was always a curiosity. So when I was reading the words of this madam and call girl, it just opened my eyes to a brighter world. And I wanted to live that. I wanted to be that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it always stuck with me. Obviously, I wasn't a 12-year-old, but it didn't take long.
No.
It didn't take long. No, I came to home. My parents, instilled in me so many great things. An accomplished student and accomplished athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And when the time came where, I don't know, I guess a gentleman, he approached me when I was 16, and he made the life seem so great. Come to find out, he was a pimp in Vancouver. And I
Oh.
grew up in the Fraser Valley where, it was the Bible Belt. And
Yes.
still in the back of my mind, I'm thinking about, the life and the industry and how glorious it sounded. And he just made it sound even more glorious.
Right.
And yeah, I listened. But at the same time, I was young and I decided that's not the lifestyle for me. I had
Mm.
high hopes to do other things in my life, not to sell my ass and give all
Mm-hmm.
my money to a man. But hey, that's where it all began.
Oh, like who was this person? Was it just a random person that approached you, or was it something that you knew, or like what was the connection there?
No connection. That's
No
just what they
connection.
did.
Oh
Pimps
my
are
gosh.
scavengers.
Yes. Well, they
they
target young
they
women.
prey on, yeah, they prey on what they feel will be a right fit to do business for them
Mm-hmm.
and with them. So yeah, they will approach young women, and as we see now in the age of internet where everybody can see what's going on,
Yeah.
it's trafficking.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Hmm.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, I at that age, I mean, I was always mature beyond my years anyway. And
Mm-hmm.
actually left home when I was 16, and like I want to go back and just say I did come from a great home. It had nothing to do with my parents. It just felt like I was at an age where I could do better
Yeah.
on my own.
Yeah.
So me leaving home wasn't, any daddy issues or anything. It was just
No.
me wanting to.
They
It
always
was
think
just
it's
me
that.
wanting to emancipate myself and be
Yeah.
the butterfly that I thought I was and think I am today.
Well, I mean, at that age, I feel like we're always, I don't know. Well, I don't want to say we're always, but like I know I was like a little bit rebellious and I wanted to do my own thing and I thought I knew I was right and knew everything about the world. And I think it's common
Yeah,
around that age,
sure.
right?
Mm. And my parents, being parents that they are, they let me know that
Wow.
our door is always open for you. So
Yeah.
we love you. Hey, good luck. But I knew they knew I'd be back eventually, at some point in my life.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, back to the gentleman that I had met. Definitely, definitely, they were on the lookout from the big city of Vancouver, bright lights,
Yeah.
fast pace, and they came out to Abbotsford. That's where I was, and
Okay.
yeah, they were keeping their eye, they're like eagles, keeping their eye out to see which young, up and coming woman would want to do business. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I met them. They made the lifestyle seem so appealing, which I already knew. I read about it and seen, and Pretty Woman had just come out. So
Yes.
yeah, we were all wanting to live the dream.
Right. Oh, Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood just glamorized the whole thing, and
100%.
we all wanted
100%.
our Vivian and our Richard Gere.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
it's such a classic.
So, but yeah, I know. It's actually funny to watch it. It's one of those classic movies that I can watch over and over again.
Yes.
It makes me laugh.
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
So unrealistic, but yeah. Yeah. It's a great
yeah.
movie. Hollywood movie.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
Yeah. So
But
what happened next?
so I didn't accept right away. I just thought these two were clowns, and there's no man that's going to do anything for me that I can't do for myself.
Hey, there we go.
Empowered woman that I was at 16. So I let it fall by the wayside. I wasn't interested.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually not. It was about 3 months later, and I was with my girlfriends, and we were at a house party in Vancouver, and I mean, long story short, they ended up leaving, and I was stuck in Vancouver. I had nowhere to go.
Oh, no.
I had maybe $12 in my pocket, and the only number that I had with me was that pimp.
No. Oh,
So
no.
yeah, it was wild. It was really wild. Like you can't rate this stuff.
Yeah.
And so I gave him a call, and I said I'm stranded. Of course, he came and picked me up.
Yeah.
And no strings attached. He said he would drive me back home the next day. But of course, he still wanted to introduce the lifestyle and talk about it. He introduced me to another young lady that was his brother's girl, working girl.
Okay.
And she was cool. She made it seem as spectacular as they wanted to make it seem.
Right.
And I said, I will think about it. So as promised, he did take me back home.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just on my mind. Like I couldn't stop thinking about it. I thought, how exciting could this be? I was working at Wendy's, making back then I think it was like $8.25 an hour. And
oh my gosh! Wow.
We were barely getting by. My girlfriend and I, we were both 16, and we had left home together. So paying the bills, making ends meet was just not cutting it.
Yeah.
So I decided, I mean, why not? This is kind of something I've always wanted to try.
Yeah.
And you just had to dive in.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Wow.
So,
and you were 16
so
at
I
this
called
point.
him. He came to pick me up.
Yep.
And I was ready. He took me shopping, and he owned a hair salon in downtown Vancouver. So he gave me the whole makeover. Made you feel like the princess.
Yes.
And I sure did. Yeah, I was princess for a day. And later on that evening, it was your turn, like to get up. And back then it was street walking. There was no internet.
Yeah.
Your life was the very wide and open host roles, and it was exciting.
Wow. This is such a different world. This is miles away from what I know in terms of sex work nowadays.
I mean, what do you know?
Oh gosh. Well, my experience only as a dancer in strip clubs, and also as a sugar baby, and also just creating my own content. That's really, really current. But I mean, I'm aware of other different types of sex work, and I'm also aware of street level based sex work as well. And I've also had a couple different professors speak on the issue as well, in terms of in the downtown east side, and also in terms of some of the street workers as well that need resources. So it's always been in that light.
Yes. Yeah, I guess that is the more present day idealism of street walking. The women that you see on the streets now, they don't have anything close to the means and the privileges and the benefits of being a sex worker, an independent sex worker, or even one that works in an agency. They are seen as, which is the old stereotype of being a prostitute, and it's sad.
It is really, really sad.
Yeah, and it exists. Yeah. But back then, I'm talking back in the 90s when I first got turned out, and I'm not going to say that I was forced, because I definitely wasn't. It was a decision I made solely on my own. And back then, to be a sex worker in the streets, 98% of the time you needed to have a management, which was back then pimps, which I feel like is it's good to see it's more of a dying breed now.
Yeah, I mean they still exist as well, but in the very negative connotation and negative
connotation
way.
Of it.
Yes, exactly.
But if we go back to 1991, 16 years old, obviously underage.
Yes.
Turning my first trick, it was a little scary, but at the same time, I think it was more exciting than scary.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
it was it was really exciting for me. And I the car pulled up, we made our transaction and jumped in the car, handled the business, which really doesn't take long.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it. I was hooked. Basically, I guess that's where the term hooked comes from.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you turn your
Yeah.
tricks and you just get hooked into the whole industry.
There we
It's
go.
fast money. Yeah, it's
Yes.
fast money. It's quick money, and it's just easy. It was easy. If you have the mentality and the maturity and the want and the will, it just becomes easy.
It wasn't not,
Yeah.
I
Does
mean,
it make it right?
no, yeah.
Does it make it right? No. I mean, I
No.
was a baby. When I look back in
Yeah.
hindsight, I was a child.
Yeah.
And and but it never jaded me. Like I don't have ill will towards men. I didn't have a cold heart or anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the evolution of everything. Like it didn't negatively affect me.
Good. Well, I'm glad. And I'm glad, I mean, from what you're describing and what I'm hearing thus far is that you had a pretty positive experience, at least starting out, or at least what you're sharing with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Like, did it always come as easy for you? I'm sure there were some harder times or challenging days. Like, I mean, like with any job, or
Of course, every job has its challenges
of
and its
course.
ups and downs, and sometimes you feel like quitting, and sometimes it's just that's once you turn in at the end of the night and wake up, it's a brand new day,
Yeah,
and you just start all over again. Um,
totally.
I uh, I don't know. I felt like I was just meant to be a sex worker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've done other things in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a mother. I've gone to university. I've done other things,
Mm-hmm.
but my mind and my heart always come back to sex work. And
Yeah.
I was very fortunate that the streets didn't swallow me up. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not meant for everybody. It was rough. It was
Mm-hmm.
glamorous, and it was definitely scary.
Yeah. Can you
Yeah,
elaborate more on the scary part? I know that's
yeah, I
such
mean,
a
absolutely.
it's such a general question, but I just want to know, like, yeah, I just want to hear
No, I
your
mean, and for your
story.
audience that doesn't know, and for the younger ladies that are in sex work who can't even imagine
Mm-hmm.
street walking compared to how we are
Operating
evolved,
nowadays.
and
Yeah.
yes, sitting back and posting an ad and someone comes to find you,
Yeah.
and people have the luxury of screening now. Back then,
Yes.
your screening was your gut instinct.
Yeah. Big
So that's where
difference.
the scary.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so that's where the scariness comes from. You don't know whose car you're getting into. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know. You just don't know. So, and you are told that your pimp's job is to be your security and everything, but no, that's not. That was all fed lies.
Yeah.
Us women, we looked out for each other.
Mm-hmm.
Screening back then was taking down a license plate, getting the make and the model of the car. If you're gone for more than half an hour, then back then we had pagers.
Oh my God, pagers.
There's no,
Oh my
yeah, there was
God.
no cell phones. We had a shitload of quarters for the payphone
Oh my
and
God.
a Motorola pager.
Oh my
And our
God.
codes, yeah, codes were like 911 help. I'm this is call me back. And
Yeah.
yeah, that was our screening. So when I say scary, you just didn't know whose car you were getting into. You didn't know if you were going to come back. When you had to go park, you were going to park down a dark city alley, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe if you got lucky, they would want to spring the $20 to go down to Pigeon Park and get
Mm-hmm.
a hotel room for an hour.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was luxury back then, and those rooms were disgusting.
Yeah, and I'll just interrupt here for the international listeners. There's a lot of Americans and lots of Europeans that listen, and also Australians and Germans that listen to the show as well. But yeah, it's a very international audience. But yeah, Pigeon Park is like right just a couple blocks away from the downtown east side, which I'm sure you can Google. And it's considered the worst. It's considered the worst neighborhood in all of Canada. So it's kind of
I would
like,
say so.
yeah, I mean, it's like Skid Row in LA. It's along the lines of that. And unfortunately, it's just like a lot of mentally ill people there, a lot of displaced communities that wind up there, and a lot of times a lot of prostitutes can be there, pimps,
Yes.
Some drug addicts as well, but it's a mix of that. And I actually used to live down the street. I mean, Hastings is a long street, but I used to live down the street from the downtown east side. So just a little sidebar in case people are like, what's that? Just a little background info. But yeah, going back to like security and screening there and the non-existence of it. Like,
no, absolutely not.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
There was none of that. So you learned real quick how to use your street smarts and and interact with not only the clientele that would circle and come, and it was like a meat market for real. Like we were all out there hustling and advertising ourselves by the way we dressed, the way we walked, the way we made eye contact. It's just a whole different. That was our advertisement. We were our advertisement. So
oh my gosh.
Today is like apples and oranges. Like to me, today is just the breeze. I fucking love sex work in the age of the internet.
Yes. Because as you said, I mean, like you're branding yourself, you're marketing yourself by, I guess, the outfits you wear, how you do your hair, your makeup, the look,
everything,
the wink,
everything. It all starts with the look. I mean, men are visual. Yes. So when you start with the look, everything else follows. And a lot of times, like I know women nowadays, their gripe is that motherfuckers don't read their ad in entirety. So they're pissed that they're asking questions that easily displayed in their ad. You got to remember that these men are very visual first.
Yes.
So, do I cut them any slack for not reading? No. But I am also, I know how men are. To me, it's just comedy. So do I get upset? No.
No. I know what you mean. It's just like men don't know how to read. Men don't know boundaries, and men don't know anything.
Right.
There's so much truth in that.
So in a way, I'm actually, I have no ill will towards sex work and where I came from. I mean, we can definitely still keep talking about that part. And I spent 3 years in the industry, working the streets. Back then, I mean, because I was a minor, I was subjected to being in the lower east end of Vancouver. The high track was downtown. That's where everybody wanted to be.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was a child, so no, I wasn't allowed to be there. And back then, law enforcement, they were a little bit more diligent towards that. They didn't want underage sex. They felt you were being sex trafficked, and they come by on a regular, which was nice. And they stopped and talked. We got comfortable with those that would come by and check up on us and. Just making sure we were safe and between clientele and with our pimps and everything. So they were always diligent. So big ups to Vancouver PD for always being diligent and being supportive of us sex workers.
Yeah. I mean, do you think that has shifted in recent years? Or
it's hard to say. Like I mean, I'm an independent sex worker, and I have been since I returned. I haven't been a sex worker diligently through this whole, since I'm 45 now, and I haven't. I took time off. I'll say. Yeah. When I hung up my heels, I didn't think I would return to sex work, but here I am today. I returned in 2013, and I freaking love it.
Okay.
But I don't really deal with law enforcement. I don't have a reason to, and. It's unfortunate that there are ladies out there, or I shouldn't even just say ladies, but just sex workers that are, I guess, having a tough go at it between clientele and finances, and there's just different reasons to have, and stalkers. Like I can't even imagine. Yeah. But it's nice to know that hopefully with this industry becoming decriminalized, I'll be the first one celebrating in the streets when that happens.
Yeah.
That our industry has them as an ally.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know there's a lot of opinions on this topic. I'm almost curious to hear everyone's and people's attitudes, but it doesn't reflect anything. Like, it's really just based on what your experiences have been, I feel.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah.
Because your opinion matters, so.
And I'm sure we all have them.
Yes. I hope we all
have
opinions.
our opinions. Yeah. And it's nice to see that there's so many groups that are supportive with one another instead of the opposite.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, because I mean we're all in this together, and it can be a tough go for a lot of people. For myself, like I said, I find this line of work to be very easy, and we can talk about that later on as well. But it's actually funny. I was thinking about it earlier, because I had dropped out of high school, and I realized I got my PhD, my professional hoe degree, before I even actually graduated from high school. To me, it made me laugh. That might be sad for others. I don't know, but
I love
on the bright side, it's not a sad story.
No, it's a great story, and I'm happy to share it here. So, but tell me about this return. So you've returned now. You've been back in the industry for about eight years now. And is that when you shifted more towards your offerings of erotic massage?
Yes, ma'am.
And moving independently?
It became an industry.
Yeah. Ooh,
yeah.
Okay.
Back then, the industry was geared towards servicing those that were picking me up and feeding my wallet. But now, I'm able to stand on my own 2 feet, and this industry is mine. I think sex industry has always been a woman's game. It's just been, they make more money, whether it's pornography, stripping, any avenue, any different genre of the sex industry, it's women.
Yeah.
It's a woman-dominated industry. So when I returned, I just made it mine, and I devoured it and grabbed it by its balls. So it was more centered and geared towards myself. Like all the services that I offer are stuff that I enjoy doing, and if I enjoy doing it, me providing it for others it's glorious and it's easy.
Like how did you?
Eroticism. Yeah, eroticism. Like even my own personal life, sex is to me it's beautiful, and I've always had some pretty decent sex partners, and it's all about foreplay and using your 5 senses and just beginning with there and taking your time and making somebody feel pleasured and wanted and fulfilled.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh. Like how did you re-enter, or how did you plan your entry back into the industry, and how did you mentioned it was like erotic massage was an emerging, I guess, profession at the time, or how would you describe this?
Well, even back then, I live in Nanaimo, Vancouver, and back then the sex industry was pretty sparse. There was maybe a couple. Back then it was Backpage and Craigslist, and there was maybe only a very handful of ads for local women who were available.
Okay.
And one of my girlfriends is a very well-known dominatrix here in Nanaimo, and she's made a great name for herself, and I consider her a pillar of our community. And she hit me up one day and just said, I have this dual request. You down? And I was like, fuck yeah, no hesitation. What you mean? Yes, I'm down. Let's do this. And I was a mother, I still am a mother, but my kids, I was working a full-time square job, 9 to 5, and hustling my ass off. And my kids were young. They were young-ish, just hitting the teenage years. Yeah. So I wasn't ready to get fully immersed back into this industry. But yeah, she hit me up, and when we manhandled that duo. It was easy money, and I loved it, and it just opened me up again towards possibilities. So I said, whenever you have an opportunity for a duo, just find me.
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, it began like that, and the ball got rolling. I mean, the review boards exist, and the word got out that well, Mistress Leilani, she has a new girl, and she's only available as a duo, and it just kind of snowballed from there.
Wow. I love this.
I love it too. Oh, I love my life. And I love you for, letting others hear about it. This is an amazing thing that not only for my peers in sex work, but just for those who aren't in sex work, or for clients who kind of want the behind the scenes into the mind of a sex worker. I think it's great.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Like, I really just frame this podcast more on like an educational standpoint, and for people who are just really curious and who are open-minded in terms of, hearing what it is really like, is instead of all the things that we're fed in the media, in the paper, online. It's the same old, and it's just tiresome.
But why are they gonna focus on the negative?
I know.
There's so much more positiveness to it.
I
positivity.
know. Seriously.
Yeah, we're not all. Yeah, we're not the stereotypes. There are some very amazing, well-rounded people that are sex workers and choose to be that.
Yes.
And why can't they just be that?
Yeah. Why can't we just be?
Yes, just be.
Which is so simple, All
yes,
right.
ma'am.
So news started coming out that, hey, there's this new person in town, aka you, that you were doing duos with your colleague. And when did you decide that you wanted to start getting back into this full time? Because it sounds like to me you're just kind of like dipping your toes back into it, only available for duos. When was that point or the aha moment where you're like, okay, I'm going to just dive right in, both feet in, and we're going to do this?
The aha moment became the moment I did that first duo with her.
Oh.
But being able to reinvent myself, like this is mine, and it's mine to own and to harness and ladies are today, or sex workers are branding themselves and making this. It's your business. So when I had that opportunity to decide, do I want to do this full time, part time, no time, anytime, it was a no brainer. I quit my job, became a full time sex worker, and I'm grateful for her because she had her own income. I obviously was a mother, and I couldn't justify having another place.
Yeah.
And so she let me work out of her income. I just knew I didn't want to give my money to nobody else. So I was always going to be 110% independent.
Yes. Yes.
And not knocking agencies. I mean, hey, agencies are a great start for any person who is interested in maybe trying to be a sex worker, whether it's erotic massage to full service. They give you a great start. And like I said, I'm not knocking agencies. I just knew for myself, independent was the way to go. And so, that independency was able, I was ready, like I said, to grab this business by the balls again and just show what I can actually do in this industry. And how I kind of niched myself is, even though I am full service, but I call myself a sexual healer and a caregiver. Like I put a lot of time and effort. It goes down to everything, like everything from my advertising to my wording to how I correspond with potential clientele, and everything that I do within a date. Everything is done with a purpose. And that purpose is to let my clientele feel valued, feel appreciated, and leave feeling what they approached me for.
Yeah, definitely. And you offer a whole range of services. I took a peep on your website. Gotta do my research, right?
Yes. Absolutely.
But you offer quite a bit.
I expect nothing less from you, Steph.
Exactly. Right? I don't just bring anyone onto my show, so gotta bet. But yeah, I mean, other than like girlfriend experience, the full service work that you offer, and standard like erotic massage and stuff, a couple things stood out as well that you offer that I don't see on other sex worker ads and stuff too. So stuff like cuddling, as I mentioned earlier, manscaping, lifestyle parties. I want to hear all about this. And of course, I definitely, yeah, and NuRu. I want to hear about NuRu as well, which is like one of the reasons I brought you on here. But now this conversation is like so much more fascinating. So
don't worry, I got time.
I got time for you. We could chat forever.
Okay. Awesome.
Where do you want to start?
Those
Like,
sessions,
there's so many.
Those sessions all kind of. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Like, where do you want to start? Because there's just so many, like, so many great services you offer.
Where do we start? We start with, I guess, experiencing sessions or dates I had previously, and then you kind of get to know your clientele, and then a very astute escort will be very in tune to what her clientele needs.
Yes.
So, you kind of, you start letting your mind go forward and to be the best hoe you can be. You're here to service. And, hey, you're not here to be a stepping stone or anything or someone's sex toy, but you are here to service and give your clientele the things that they need. So that's when I started branching out and offering, besides the GFE experience, I started offering just kind of side. I don't like the term menu. Menu to me is just, I'm not a fast food restaurant.
No.
I don't list a lot of acronyms, do's, don'ts, and restrictions.
Yes.
Everything just flowed naturally. And everything is, your mileage may vary. YMMV. Gentlemen, don't assume that we just do everything. It's all based on you. If you come with your best foot forward, the more probably mileage you'll get. But those sessions are tailor-made for those that I say, whatever your desires or the needs that you're searching to kind of scratch your back, and also what your budget is.
Yeah.
I live in Nanaimo. It's pretty small. I'm not in the big city. If I was in the big city, my rates would be so much more.
Yeah.
But I'm in Nanaimo, so I am considered more, I guess, a high-end lady here in Nanaimo, and well-deserving, because I'm very good at what I do, and I take pride, and I respect those that take the time to come and see me.
Yeah.
And especially for my repeat clientele, that definitely shows me that you're happy with what I do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's always benefits to loyal return client.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, sometimes, like, how I look at it, sometimes you just need, like, I focus all my energy on my regular clients. I try not to expend so much energy on getting new ones.
Absolutely.
I don't know if anyone else shares that same experience, but that's kind of how I do it. I just want to, like, nourish the people that are already here and they're already, like, fans,
Absolutely, and that's where you start. They are the ones that that pay the bills.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
You never neglect your loyal customer.
No.
And so good for you.
Tell me a little bit about NuRu, because this is something I've seen just a few times on Twitter, and I did a little bit of Googling, a little bit of Wikipedia-ing, but if you wanted to explain what NuRu is, as it is your specialty, I'm sure the audience would love to hear all about it.
I have coined NuRu the adult playground, and it is it's an experience that I think everyone should experience at least once in their life.
Yeah.
I first got put onto NuRu. I saw my first, maybe Pornhub, who knows? Anyway, a porn version of NuRu massage. It was like 2011. That was a long time ago. Oh my God, that was like 10 years ago. Where did time go?
Oh wow. Oh my God.
I wasn't even back in sex work at then, but I saw the video.
Yeah.
And I was so mesmerized by the NuRu gel.
Ooh.
The massage looked good and everything, but it was this NuRu gel. And I don't know if you, upon your wiki searches or anything, if you have seen consistency of
Yes.
NuRu gel. Have you?
Yeah, I Googled it. I Googled, like, what is this? And
doesn't it look fantastic?
Yeah, and
Like,
like
who
super
doesn't want their
slippery.
body immersed in NuRu gel?
Yes.
So, yeah. So it was always in the back of my mind. Like I said, I hadn't dipped my toe back into sex work, but like it was in my mind. So the moment I had my very first call to myself, the next day I was on Amazon. I was like ordering, I wanted my mattress, I ordered my gel, I ordered everything that I thought I would need to set up this whole NuRu environment. And it was the best decision I made in my life.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It just opened the door to a whole new pleasure world of the www.com, and that's the wonderful world of performing.
Yes.
It just made, yeah. And I marketed the shit out of NuRu, and nobody else was really offering it. I don't even think on the island. Maybe somebody in Victoria, but I'm not too sure. But I was one of the first to offer it as a session here in Nanaimo, and I haven't turned my back on it. Yeah, it's just it's glorious, and yeah, we can talk more about that too.
Yeah, can you explain?
I'm sure we will.
Yes, please explain to the audience, because like what I briefly know about it from the again, like the Wikipedia search that I did on NuRu, it was something that originated in Japan, and it is like this slippery, like it's got some viscosity.
That's the word. That's what it means in Japanese. Slippery.
Yes, slippery substance, and it's like a body to body massage or body to body slide. I don't know how to describe it. You're the expert here.
Hey, now you got me walking around. I'm already rubbing my nipples just thinking about it. It's so exciting. Yeah, you're turning me on. We're just talking about it.
Well, it looks like a lot of fun. Seriously.
It is. That's why I say it's the adult playground. Yeah, it's body to body and fully naked. I want my clientele to actually feel like porn version of everything is always exaggerated.
Yes.
And bless them, I love it. I mean, it's what turned me on to the whole NuRu extravaganza to begin with. But I want my clientele to kind of just lay there and let me take the reins and glide and stand and use every part of my body to make them feel good.
Wow.
And I used to have a mirror so they could actually see me. And I took away the mirror because I wanted them to lay there and kind of guess which part of my body was touching them from head to toe. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know, it's exciting.
I'm getting so excited right now.
just for introducing me to your pod, people, I would actually give you a free NuRu.
There we go.
You need the experience. But anyway, we'll talk about that later once we're off the air.
Yes.
Okay.
So continue. So yes, this like full body to body, fully nude, body slide. Oh my gosh. So obviously like it gets a little messy.
It's messy, but even when I first began, like the day I received all of my stuff, I had a friend come over and we tried it out. It was trial and error, and I realized you can't just do this without getting wet first. So it's we always start with a shower, a really hot shower, and getting, tantalizing those senses. You want to like beautiful soap smells and feeling my wet body and soapy body on yours, and getting you excited to what's going to happen after later on the air mattress. But
oh my gosh.
I'll never forget how when we got out of the shower, how cold it was. And trying to give a NuRu massage. Yeah, I mean, I did heat up the NuRu gel and everything, but that was not enough. It was it was a horrible experience.
Oh no.
But at the same time, still exciting because your adrenaline's going. It's something new and it's exciting, and you're feeling body to body, and it was great.
Yeah.
But at the same time, heat is vital.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine. Like, I mean, yeah, as you said, it's going to be trial and error for that first time, maybe it's first few times, until you are like, okay, this is how you do it. This is how you apply it.
Yeah. I kind of wish I could go back and see like my very first NuRu massages. I mean, now I feel like I'm a wizard. I'm a slippery wizard who will make you feel great.
Mm-hmm.
But where were we?
I honestly, yeah, I got distracted. I felt like, oh my gosh, like I'm getting wet right now. Like this is hot.
Shower. And that's actually something I offer just as a session in itself is my soapy showers, because people were really loving I call it the hors d'oeuvre of the NuRu experience. It's the shower in itself is exciting. So I just started offering that as a solo session, because the soapy shower is mind-blowing. I think I did a very good job utilizing every part of my body and getting somebody clean. And that's also a benefit for myself, because, well, I've cleaned you, so I know you will have definitely more mileage once you've been fully clean.
Yes. To your standards, right? So.
yes. It's Miss LV approved.
Oh my gosh.
I'm more prone to put everything into my mouth if you are fully cleaned.
Yes. Sometimes you just like other like some. I've heard some horror stories too about men just not fully cleaning themselves, or maybe not knowing how to clean themselves. Like, I've heard so many stories on this podcast. Like,
it's all facts. It's a true story. They're not made up stories. They happen. So sometimes you got to take matters into your own hands. And gentlemen, they will be very grateful. I don't think any of them would detest or turn down a soapy shower.
Totally, yeah. And I love how it's like an add-on service, you know, like
a
good upsell.
Yes, and especially during the summer. So anybody out there who never experienced a soapy shower and it's a hot day, look me up. I'm down. I don't mind getting my hair wet.
Okay, so after the soapy shower, your signature soapy shower, walk me through the experience, and then now you're now at the air mattress. And are you standing? How do you apply the NuRu? Like, it looks so slippery, like, you know?
I know. It's so glorious. I can't get enough of it. But yeah, I lead my gentleman or a couple or, whoever is entertaining me for that time slot. They get comfortable on the air mattress, and hopefully it's warm enough. And my NuRu gel is always warm enough, and I start to slather them with just paint their whole body with warm NuRu gel. And then I do myself, and we're both so shiny, and I'm not the darkest skin, but my dark skin, you can almost see your face in the reflection of my skin.
Wow.
It is that transparent and just goopy, and whatever you see is just your eyes aren't bugging. You are that coated and and then the massage begins. Like I said, then I introduce my body to theirs very slowly and do my magic.
Wow, this sounds incredible. Like, I want to try this. Like, if I'm in Vancouver Island, I'm going to give you a call.
You will. I will definitely. Like I said, everyone needs to experience it at least once in their life.
Yes.
And it was so popular because I was the only one providing it here. So I was inundated with people that hadn't experienced it before, or they were maybe sold a fake version of a NuRu massage. I hear that countless of times.
Oh my gosh, really?
Maybe how providers are offering a NuRu massage, and then all of a sudden they're on a bed and baby oil and maybe tits sliding up and down their back, which is, that's glorious too, but that's not.
It's not the same, yeah. I imagine it's definitely not the same kind of viscosity or feel to it at all.
No, it's totally different.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's still beautiful to begin with, but no, you need to be totally immersed in the whole authentic world.
Yeah.
Massage.
That sounds incredible. I love this intro to NuRu. I'm hoping that more people will be into this, or like maybe something that they'll want to offer, or something that they want to experience. Because I have had like a lot of clients actually ask some of the other full service workers on my podcast for bookings. Yeah.
Nice.
So hopefully listeners in Vancouver Island.
Yeah. More the merrier. The more people that get on board, it could be just a whole NuRu nation, and the world, like I said, will be a better place.
I love that. NuRu Nation hashtag.
Yeah.
That's great.
Hey. I love that too. I would put that in my album.
You should.
NuRu Guru was already taken a long time ago, but
oh damn, that's a good one.
I secretly coined myself as one.
Oh, 100%. Well, thank you so much for the introduction there. There are actually a bit of questions that came in for yourself from the audience. So I feel
wonderful.
It's time to go into that. So let's do that. The first question is, what are the do's and don'ts for customers to know? And they didn't really say in terms of like what service. So you're free to answer that, whoever you choose. Yep.
Definitely do's are always respect, first and foremost.
Yes.
Yeah, first and foremost is respect and listening and enjoying yourself. Mm-hmm. And our bodies are they're here for both of our pleasures, but listen to what we say and feed off our cues, and it'll be a good time. Mm-hmm. I mean, everyone's different. For myself, I'm pretty easy flowing. Like I said, I don't have a menu of restrictions, mm-hmm. but it all starts with communication. Like I've actually been very fortunate. I've never had an asshole come to my door. I've never felt scared for my safety at any point. So I give props to all my clients who may be listening or not listening. You guys have all been great to me, which makes this industry even so much more of a blessing to be in. Mm-hmm. So just don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
And be clean. All the same things that we should just know as a human being. Just do and don't those.
Yeah. Right? It should be really simple.
Yeah. It is simple.
Yeah. This is a nice one. How much do you miss newspaper ads? Such a great question.
Okay, here we go, dating me again. It's so funny. That's so funny to me because
it's so good. So good.
No, I know I said I was before the internet time, but I actually never posted an ad in like the Georgia Straight or the classified ads. But I looked at them all and I thought they were fascinating. They were great nostalgia. And if people still have them, hold on to them because that's like I said, nostalgia. But
that's a piece of history.
It is history.
Totally, right?
Oh,
I don't even know.
Do they still good wanted ads for. Yes. I can't remember what they were classified under. I think it was personal ads.
Yeah, personal. Because I used to look at those too. I'm like, ooh, wow, like she looks so pretty. Yeah. Like that guy looks really hot. Total throwback for funny. All y'all.
That was a throwback, yeah. TBF. Throwback Friday. Sunday.
Have you ever injured yourself or your client when sliding around? These are golden
I have a feeling this person probably had an accident. And that's why they're asking. I personally have not. And like I stated earlier, it is a trial and error kind of experience. Like I guess a woman could probably feel like, oh, I've seen this on video. I could do a good job. But no, it's slippery. The surface is incredibly slippery, and I just kind of went gung-ho, and I have never had an accident, but I have had clients who...
Oh, no.
I always leave them alone now, because when it's all said and done, and it's time to go re-shower and get all the slippery substance off you, I don't want to watch them try to get off the air mattress because they think about like, oh, Yikes! I shouldn't like a fish out of. We'll say a fish out of water.
Yeah.
It's pretty comical. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
they're fumbling around and they're yeah.
Oh.
So I just immediately now just go straight to the shower. I leave them some slippers because we don't want
Oh my
slipping
gosh.
on the linoleum.
No.
And I never touch the bottom of their feet anymore. Just because once they get up and they try to step into the shower, I almost had a
Oh no.
near fatal accident.
Oh my god.
Yes. Yeah. I'm just dying on the inside, but a few people have fallen off. I actually introduced a duo with one of my girlfriends, and she had never
Worked with
experienced
NuRu?
NuRu before, and we were trying to give a duo, and then she went sliding and slipping off into the wall. It's just really funny. Like if these things happen, just chalk it up as comedy and not a fail.
Exactly. Just
if it
own
happens
it.
to you, just laugh it off. Like who doesn't want to laugh at life?
Exactly.
Yeah, so I always give disclaimers to my clients that if you are doing please put the slippers on. Please grab the handrails when you re-enter the shower, and nobody gets hurt.
Safety first. Safety first, y'all.
Yeah, safety first. Nobody dies. It's all fun.
Oh, this is so good. I haven't laughed as hard on any of my episodes. So good. How was the transition of sex work when the internet came along?
Oh man, apples to oranges, night and day. It was peaceful. It was amazing. So yeah, once you go through sex work as a streetwalker to where I don't personally screen, and I give props to the ladies that feel like that is what they need to do.
Yeah.
And hey, do what you have to do, because this is a very dangerous industry, and you do need to take precautions. You want to be able to wake up and enjoy your family and life.
Yeah.
And no one deserves to take the life of somebody else, especially when this is such an easy way to get into someone's. If you're that kind of mindset, it's an easy way to get in. So women that screen, I applaud you. That's awesome.
Yeah. 100%.
But yeah, that would be probably the benefit that I would see with transitioning from street work to online is that you are able to take matters into your own hands. It's more of an empowered industry now.
It is definitely more.
And you can work for self.
Yes.
You can work for self. You can do everything. Your branding, everything is you say, and you make a great living from it.
Yes. I love all of this. So much truth in this.
That's awesome.
I'm so glad you were able to just share your story in terms of like a positive light on street-based work. Because again, it's a topic that I never got to speak about. It's a topic that I don't know anyone personally that have done it. And again, it's just that negative light that's being shone on it. And this is so refreshing to hear this kind of perspective. So thank you.
Yeah, and that's great because I feel like I've gone full circle from that time as a 12-year-old. I found that book called The Happy Hooker.
Yeah.
And here I am, 45 years old, and still returning to this industry. And I feel like I'm that fucking happy hooker. I love it.
That's incredible. So freaking cool. There's just two more questions here. So what are your thoughts on perb and merb? And for those who don't know, those are like erotic review boards where you can give reviews, where clients can give reviews, public reviews, and what are your thoughts on it? I've heard great, like good and bad things from both sides.
It's the good, the bad, and the fucking ugly.
Yeah.
I say there were review boards coming up in my early years and before the industry. So to me, they don't really serve a purpose. Mm-hmm. I just feel like it's a boys' club to just be douchey and trashy, and they think they're trying to be helpful to maybe a woman's business, but I think a woman knows her business. Mm-hmm. She doesn't need to have men to validate themselves or to legitimize themselves. And I guess I have a mixed reaction to it. I personally still kind of utilize it for advertising, or just have being a voice towards those douchery reviews and titles and this misogynist words that they spew. But I mean, they exist and they're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I've recently become do not review because they're not conducive to my business. I don't need a review to validate what I do. I know what I do and I do it well. My clients know. That's why I have so many repeat clientele, because of the service. I don't need someone to broadcast it to the world, and I don't really want to read about it.
Yeah, I hear you. Totally. Cool.
So hopefully those that hear me, I'm do not review. I kind of made that decision probably about a month ago.
I like that.
So I hope people respect it. Yeah, I don't mind recommendations. If you maybe come across something on not Turp. Yeah, I'll go to Toronto one, but or any review board for that matter. I don't mind recommendations. And if you are a reviewer, just keep it enlightening.
Yeah.
And you are reviewing human beings.
Yeah.
Just be human.
Yeah, like it's people's livelihoods. These are people's jobs. It's not just like a, just people think it's like a Google review or like Yelp 5-star, like, and there's just nasty people out there that just want to destroy businesses. And I'm honestly like really sick and tired of hearing about this kind of shit. It's awful.
Yeah, it is awful. It is awful. And I've actually been pretty blessed. I have never had a negative review. So good for me. But
yeah.
I could do without review boards, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I can see why so many ladies in the industry are pretty much share the same sentiments in that.
Yeah, I've definitely heard all sides of the story for this.
Absolutely.
So, and usually it's the same sentiment that you have, that they could really care less. Like sex workers could really care less for the reviews. So.
No.
Yeah.
They do me no justice.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess the last question here is, what are your thoughts on the missing women in the downtown east side?
It's heartbreaking.
It really is.
It is. Like I said, like sex workers are easy prey for. I mean, they're sick. They're sick people who would even have the audacity to take someone's life for whatever reason. I mean, these are our lives to live, and nobody deserves to take it from any of us.
Yeah.
So it's hard. A lot of the missing women, I mean, I'm half Indigenous myself, and I luckily haven't had any family member or anyone close to me go missing, but even if I don't know you, I feel it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And a lot of, I guess, the targets, especially for Indigenous sex workers, they are easily persuaded, all for the almighty dollar.
Right.
So it's like, when you were a kid, like, don't get in the white van if he's offering you candy, puppies. It's kind of the same. Like, money is a very big influence, and it's sad. Like, all money is definitely not good money, and you just got to use your gut and try to be as safe as you can be. Yeah, it's disheartening. It breaks my heart too that we're still seeing Indigenous women and just women and sex workers in general.
Yeah.
Being easy targets.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Wild.
Well, that is the last question. I hate to end it on a low note, so
I know, right?
Everything's so light and fun.
I know. When I will definitely meet you in life at some point. I mean, you're just across the wide, vast ocean here. But yeah, you will definitely get a NuRu massage.
Yes, please. I will definitely let you know. I love Vancouver Island. I was just there. Gosh, when was I just there? A couple months ago, before all the restrictions started getting crazy.
Yeah, the restrictions. Yeah.
Sorry, end of last year. I'm like, a couple months ago. Like, everything's like all turning into one.
It's all one big blur.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But before I let you go, where can we find you?
Basically just through my website, I guess, www.missladyvanessa.com. You can find outlets how to reach me from there, whether it's Tryst. And you know what? Everybody start utilizing Tryst a little bit more. They are actually sex work based.
Yes.
And because if I didn't have to use Leolist, man, fuck, I would not use Leolist. But I mean, that's where a lot of my, my clientele comes from. And even if the internet didn't exist, I would thrive. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter. Where am I? At Vanessa. I don't even remember. I don't use Twitter as much as I should, and I should because it's fucking free advertising. Who doesn't like free advertising?
Exactly.
I'd be a fool not to use it, but I should start using it a little bit more.
Yeah, you should, because that's how I found you, so. That's how I connected.
Yeah. I love it. You're awesome. This has been a great experience. I was so nervous to begin with, and who knew?
Yeah, see, it wasn't too bad. You're all nervous coming in here. I'm like, girl, it'll be fine.
I was. I feel like, very Oprah-like. I love it. You're doing a good thing.
Oh my God, I'm crying here.
Yeah.
This is great.
Cry a few times.
This is great. I mean, Lady Vanessa, it was great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for your time and the incredible insight that you have provided my audience with, and the perspective, because again, it's just something that we don't hear a lot about. So I really truly thank you, and also for you to introduce us to the lovely, slippery, fun world of NuRu, which I am gonna have to try. Like, I'm telling you, once I'm getting vaccinated next week, I'm like, I need to get this. Like, this is on my bucket list now.
And while you're saying that, and I do appreciate you inviting me onto your show. It's been truly a pleasure, enlightening, and fun. Hey,
thank you.
But if anybody in this universe has or knows or can lead me to a place to get a new branded NuRu mattress, I am in need.
Oh,
my good old faithful. She's recycled now, so I need, and I haven't been able to offer it for the last 3 weeks. So if anybody out there has a newer mattress to what, I'd be most appreciative, and I got money.
There you go.
Just saying.
Okay, I'm gonna plug them to the show notes along with all of your links, everything where we can find you, etc., etc. But it is Strip by Sia on Instagram. It's Strip by Sia, or my personal Sia Steph. On Twitter, I'm Steph Sia with my personal name, because that's how I roll. And it's new episodes every single Sunday. Don't forget to like, rate, share, review, and subscribe. And I'll catch y'all in for another episode next week. Bye. You're listening to Strip by Sia, hosted, produced, and edited by Steph Sia, artwork by Maria Bellandarama, music by Ted D, and photography by Ian Dabern.